Qatar Airways Qsuite is basically business class royalty. Doors, dine on demand, and enough privacy to ghost your seatmate at 40,000 feet. But on the Boeing 787, things get a little cozier. Meet the so-called Mini Qsuite, same sleek branding, just less room to stretch your ego. Good morning from the Moxy at Frankfurt Airport. I'm just having a very simple breakfast before today's flight. I'm a little bit mixed views-wise. I mean, it's always exciting to fly Qatar in a 5-star luxury experience, but it is on the 787-9 in the Mini Qsuite. Now, I was meant to fly this before, and I'll tell you more on the reason why you should probably avoid this in the future for one good reason, but they do look a little bit tight. Will they be? I'm not quite sure. Let's head to the airport. Right after, I head upstairs and pack my extremely handy suitcase from level 8, which I love travelling with whilst being supervised by a man and his dog on the wall. And if you've crossed the age of 30 threshold and clubbing now means being in bed by 10 PM, with mood lighting and strong Wi-Fi, Moxy hits just right. It's modern, cosy fun and within stumbling distance of Terminal 2 in Frankfurt. All that vibe usually for under €100 a night. If Moxy isn't your tribe, then there are plenty of other options hotel-wise. Otherwise, by foot, the journey to the terminal will take about 18 minutes, or 5 in a taxi or local bus. Oh hey there. Today's flight is brought to you by, well, you. You see, your support on Patreon and YouTube keeps these reviews flying high, without any corporate turbulence, and it helps to fuel honest, independent reviews, and maybe even the occasional bag of Inflight peanuts. So if you'd like the channel to remain airborne, then head over to our Patreon or support us on YouTube. So I'm just looking for the Qatar check-in. I'm not exactly sure where it is. Today's flight is a business light fare, which means unfortunately it doesn't get lounge access, but I'm overriding that with my one world status. We'll go for the details. From memory, I think Delta started this a long time ago, where previously business class fares would include as standard lounge access, luggage and seat selection. But then came the great unbundling.
Very bad decisions.
Which they said would lower fares, but in reality just pushed what was complimentary before higher in price. I did try and replicate this using today's flight as the example, but these light fares are suddenly hard to find. Having found my email confirmation, any P fare coded flights are business light, and they won't give you seat selection, lounge access, and have a lower earning rate for air miles. This is only overrode by having One World Emerald or Sapphire status, to a still very good but not so stunning lounge in Doha. I won't bore you by talking about the boarding card check, so making a right takes you past various shops and towards the Japan Airlines lounge. Officially, Qatar will send you to a third-party lounge, which I'll show you later in the video. I'm able to enter this lounge though because they're in the same partnership with Qatar alongside many others. It's a million miles from the experience in Narita. It's still cozy though with plenty of chairs, and it will do for the next 40 minutes. So in some ways, this lounge could probably do with a bit of a refresh, and maybe even Frankfurt could do with like a one world lounge. But it's very pleasant, lots of seats, and lots of refreshments. I know I give Frankfurt Airport a hard time, but quite honestly, it's not my favourite airport. The layout doesn't really make sense with bag checks done at the gate, which can be a bit of a nightmare for timing, and once beyond there's usually not much more than a bathroom to keep you entertained. I'm always wary about filming and always try and board early, so not to disturb other passengers as little as possible. At the same time, I'm a human being, so getting mind-numbingly bored sitting in a seat with little to do besides scrolling Instagram is just not my thing. Besides that, sitting in days worth of immigration queues every year is the bittersweet side of my job. Battery is topped up, vibes are high, and this exciting journey awaits. It's time to leave the JAL Lounge before Group 1 turns into final call. So I hope you can agree the JAL Lounge is pretty good. It's maybe looking a little bit dated, but nice selection of food, lots of seats, and a window with, well, views if you like buses. I think I was saying views if you like buses. Anyway, moving on, we're heading to the Priority Pass Lounge, which is the official lounge for Qatar. This lounge actually started life as Cathay Pacific's space, before being handed off to a third party. So while it no longer carries the Cathay badge, you can still kind of feel the ghost of dim sum past. It's not quite the head turn you'd find in Taipei or at Hong Kong's flagship, but hey, it's better than sitting at the gate with a soggy pretzel. Let the chaos commence. Okay, that was a little bit dramatic, because the priority queue appears closed, but actually the security check was very light. Which brings us to the waiting area, which is nothing to write home about on a postcard, but at least they've made an effort to separate the priority boarding for business class and Qatar's privileged club, which adds a small luxury notch. Unfortunately, this was the best view I could find, and believe me, I looked, of today's Boeing 787-9 in that very fetching livery. So before we board, here's today's journey details. Quebec Romeo 68 departs Frankfurt at 17:15, crossing over Europe into Turkey, Iraq, before arriving to Doha just after midnight. Before I connect onto my ex-Cathay Pacific Boeing 777 over to Hong Kong, which I believe is being leased to Qatar due to their shortage of fleet caused by various factors. Now, a bit of a spoiler, I was actually planning to review this flight on the return journey, but that didn't quite go to plan. Thanks to Iran launching missiles at US base in Qatar, my flight got cancelled. Obviously a very serious and unfortunate situation, but as travel twists often go, it rerouted me onto Cathay Pacific over to Tokyo Narita, followed by a JAL Boeing 787 back to Frankfurt. And let's just say that turned into an absolutely fantastic experience, so be sure to check that out on our channel. Seven days in the past, I'm about to board today's flight, which in typical Qatar style is boarding slightly late. I might sound like I'm being harsh, but I've flown them quite a few times, and more often than not, always late. Complaints aside, let's have a look and study the seat map. Qatar's Boeing 787-9 has one section of business class seats between the first and second door, in a 1-to-1 configuration over 8 rows. And when making a booking, just don't confuse it for the Boeing 787-8 variant, which is also in the same layout, but features 5 and a bit rows with a very different product. So this is Qatar's Mini Qsuite. It's kind of like Qsuite, but it's not quite the same. It's based off the Adian Ascent product, which you can also find on American Airlines and also Hawaiian. It's 21 inches, in the width and 77 inches in the full flat, and my first impressions are really good. I probably had a goofy grin on my face, because honestly, this seat is way better than I expected. At first I thought it might be tight squeeze, like flying a fancy sardine can, but I was completely off. Even the middle seats, that glorious divider saves you from awkward elbow wars with a stranger beside you. Privacy achieved. My home for the next 5 hours and 55 minutes will be 8 kilo, which only has one window, but I'm more than happy with that, as the seat has lots of wonderful features, textures, and this extremely pretty light fixture. Oh wait, not that one, but it's handy to read. No, I mean the Middle Eastern styled lamp, which is iconically similar to the beautiful one that decorates the tray table during the meal service. You'll see what I mean extremely soon. The window seats are also set further back than the centre, which adds a degree of privacy, not that it's really needed, with plenty of ways to charge your devices and the glory that is air nozzles, for when the cabin is set too warm. You do get a welcome drink, and for that one I've gone for the lemon mint, which is their beautiful signature drink. If you'd like to make your own, warning, plenty of sugar required, then see the link in the description below. There seems to be an almost endless supply of towels on board, handed out before and after just about every meal. And as expected, you get a really nice black leather mini kit, which is from Diptyque of Paris. I'll show that in a bit. And that moment is now, because it's just too exciting. With a beautiful soft lining, it's elegant but not stuffed to the brim with goodies, which is kind of perfect. Oh, and they throw in a seriously impressive pair of over-the-ear headphones. More on those bad boys later in the video. Most airlines say that one pillow is enough, but perhaps at the design meeting, Qatar couldn't make their minds up between the two, and hey, I love both of them. Have I contemplated taking them home? Yes. Should you? Definitely not. With pillows this good, you'd expect an equally good duvet. Is it purple? Is it maroon? That's a big question mark, but it's something my cat would happily fall asleep in. No matter who you ask, besides perhaps one fellow YouTuber that we won't talk about, Qatar is generally loved as an airline. I mean, look at how pretty this cabin is, and then you notch it up one level further, I've been offered a complimentary tea, which is beautifully served in a golden pourer, and honestly I could drink it all day, if it wasn't the same temperature as lava. Next up we have the safety video, which features Kevin Hart. I think he's growing on me as an actor, although some people say he lacks depth. Either way, let us know what you think in the comments below. Was he a good match for the safety video with Qatar?
He figured you may need a little bit of help. I'll be in the Qsuite if you need me, Kev.
Yeah, well, it's probably because you could just see the back of it. I couldn't see the back of it. So look, gotta push, make sure you push it back, okay? That's important. I couldn't see the thing.
Right, so now we're up in the air. First thing we're going to do is go visit the bathroom, we'll come back, have the meal service, have a look at the in-flight entertainment, and then we'll get on to looking at the sea before finally we discuss why I should avoid this product. I totally love my job, but trying to make a toilet sound interesting, knowing every plane has one is hard, so here goes. On Qatar's Boeing 787-9, even the loo tries to outclass you. Sleek and modern, stocked with Diptyque products you'll pretend you use always at home, and boasting a window so you can quite literally enjoy a loo with a view. Just please remember to close it before takeoff. The neighbours don't need that kind of in-flight entertainment.
So you know he has to go pro, make it a scene, give him what you believe. End of the day you like me, not too far from the tree. And if you had a son and you were sick, you push for his dreams and wouldn't let yourself get in the way, whatever it means. I get it, I see it, but tell me, how can you choose between the thing?
Every good meal needs a good distraction. Mine just happens to be plotting how to smuggle this gorgeous wall emblem in my carry-on without anyone noticing. Shh. That said, I'll admit it, I loved the Barbie movie. It's pink, it's playful, it's somehow childish and deeply adult all at once. And yes, I've watched it 3 times. Anyway, before I embarrass myself further, let's move swiftly onto the in-flight menu. Starting with the drinks menu, which continues that beautiful colour scheme, there are more varieties than I knew existed. Okay, fine, that's a lie. I've definitely seen a bar before. But still, the list goes on forever. Wines, cocktails, spirits, mocktails, teas, and probably a portion or two if you flip far enough through the menu. Basically, if you're thirsty, Qatar has you covered.
So we live out every dream we told each other on the bumpy roads. That's just what it comes with. Make it to the top with the ones that I came up with, just so we could cross out everything that's on the bucket. Trevor, that's my brother, different mother. Both our daddies flying in the sky somewhere above us. Still so much to see that's undiscovered. Hope I get to see before they...
Moving on to the food, Qatar is in a league shared by only a handful of airlines. Serves a full menu on actual porcelain, plate by plate like you're in a restaurant that just happens to have fluffy clouds out of the window. And there's even a little novelty I can't wait to show you later. Not hungry yet? Don't worry about the fear of missing out. Qatar runs on Dine on Demand, so you can eat when your stomach or Instagram says it's time to go. The view out of the window is getting tastier by the second. And so to reduce any delay for my first mouth-watering bite of food, I'm deploying the tray table, which is neatly tucked under the in-flight entertainment and doubles nicely as a good place to stand my camera. Laid with a clean white tablecloth, lots of accessories are accurately placed with impeccable order. You can tell the crew are really well trained, with a beautiful variety of 3 types of warm bread, butter, still or sparkling water, and the signature decorative light that is so simple but really creates a beautiful ambience. The amuse-bouche is beautifully cooked. It's a piece of beef in green pea puree with mango coulis on the top, and it could be considered a slightly strange combination, but it was so good I was really sad it was only one mouthful. It's a tough act to follow, but dill marinated crayfish with fennel salad feels like a pretty delicious way to keep the show going, and yes, it was exquisitely presented as you'd expect. The kind of dish that makes you pause to take a photo before demolishing it. Spoiler, it tasted every bit as good as it looks. So that was just the starter and the amuse-bouche, both really good meals, beautiful and exceptionally tasty. I'm just going to have a glass of brew champagne and it's on to the main, which I'm sure will be just as good. I was tempted by the Qatari chicken, but the Chilean sea bass won me over, especially when it turns up with lobster bisque and saffron mashed potato, like some overachieving dinner party guest. Honestly, I don't think I have the words to do it justice. Even now while editing, I find myself daydreaming about it like some long lost love, only crispier and with better seasoning. With the main course out the way, I was basking in the reflective light of my glass of bubbles, and the Barbie movie I watched as things took a turn for the worse. Watching Barbie's glittering universe spiral while I pretended to be the calm, sophisticated adult I clearly wasn't, and it's on to the dessert. Occasionally when reviewing airlines, I say the meal was good but the dessert was the highlight, but honestly sour cherry clafoutis, proof that even desserts have attitude. It's sweet but not too much, beautiful in the eye, and maybe several hours from now I can make inquiries about a second portion. Either way, this was a wonderful way to finish the meal service, and every plate was divine.
Daddy's flying in the sky somewhere above us. Still so much to see that's undiscovered. Hope I get to...
Every single course was delicious, really nicely prepared, and really beautiful to look at. Don't want to just spoil my hand. Anyway, moving on, we're going to check out the in-flight entertainment and see what they got. They have over nearly 8,000 titles available. The in-flight entertainment screen measures a pretty generous 18 inches and boasts full HD clarity, making it practically a mini home cinema in the sky. Playing your own headphones is a breeze thanks to the Bluetooth integration with Qatar's Oryx One system. Honestly, it wasn't even a struggle to find something to watch. The library is packed with all the latest releases and a solid roster of timeless classics, and the usual lineup of audio, TV and games. Whether in the mood for a blockbuster or a guilty pleasure rom-com, or some casual gaming, there's something for every kind of traveller. In fact, even in terms of sheer variety and quality, it's one of the most impressive collections I've ever seen, rivaling even Emirates, possibly, famously extensive entertainment offerings.
Daddy's flying in the sky somewhere above us. Still so much to see that's undiscovered. Hope I get to see before they call my number. What? dreams we made.
Doors on seats, or suites if you will, are quickly becoming the new standard in business class. While they're a bit smaller than the Qatar's famous Qsuite, the closing of the door doesn't make the space feel claustrophobic at all. I'm fairly certain that Garfield himself would give it a seal of approval. Since we took off mid-afternoon, I'm not really feeling sleepy, so I'll save the full flat bed luxury for my connecting flight over to Hong Kong. That being said, to round off this review, I'm more than curious to see how the seat performs in the flat mode. After all, besides the upgrade service and extra space, that's probably the number one reason most of us choose to fly business class on long haul routes. Tell me if I'm wrong, but I'd say it's practically a necessity for anyone looking to arrive at their destination feeling human rather than haggard. So far, have I given you any reason to avoid Qatar's 787-9? Honestly, no, it's fantastic. But this wasn't actually supposed to be my first flight on board. My original plan was a Rome departure 787-9 all the way, until Qatar swapped in an older plane at the last minute. I did try and plead my case under the Qsuite guarantee, but here's the kicker. This isn't technically a Qsuite product. It's nicknamed the Mini Qsuite, but it's not, which is a bit like calling instant coffee a latte. So if you get an older plane, there's no magical loophole to get an upgrade. Book at your own risk unless you enjoy a little unexpected venture in slightly less fancy skies. If you think that's going to make you emotional, perhaps you should skip the film Garfield. That intro is just way too hard hitting. Sensing my soft side emerging, the cabin crew delivered a tiny delicious chocolate, alongside a carrot chai. Complete with a pack of chocolate chip cookies, honestly it made me feel all warm and gooey inside. And suddenly I found myself daydreaming about experiencing a Finnish winter, just to see those northern lights, definitely still on my bucket list. Outside, the light is fading beautifully as Europe slips behind us, while the cabin dims for those who decided dinner was exhausting and opted for a nap. Time moves surprisingly fast, though with 5 hours and 30 minutes flight time, sleeping now feels like a poor investment. Especially when the overnight hop to Hong Kong departs well past midnight, which will require every ounce of rest I can get. I have been thinking about it a lot, and quite honestly, if I was going to book it again, I think I would take a gamble with the 787-9. Obviously, if there's Qsuite on the route, it's probably a no-brainer, just in case you get an older product. I actually think the product is really good. When you look at it online, I thought it was going to be quite claustrophobic and maybe a little bit pinched. It is the same product that American Airlines was using. I was hoping to do the conclusion on the way back, and unfortunately, a few things went wrong in the Middle East and I was diverted via Narita, which meant I ended up flying JAL, which was really, really good. Feel free to check out the review on our channel. Qatar, obviously 5-star airline, the food amazing, the cabin crew, they were so good. They had no problem with filming whatsoever, and she said, like, I could tell you were a blogger because your smile like lit up the moment you came on board. And honestly, I think it's a beautiful product. That's it. Anyway, I hope you really enjoyed the review. It's a great product, comfortable, cozy and private. Thank you and safe travels.